Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. We're in luck. Light and Shine played a bunch of games against each other. Yeah, and the first one here is on Roaring Currents, our island map. So very, very exciting about that, especially because Shine is playing, and Shine always has fresh takes on the coolest maps. So very excited to see this. Shine here in the top right, Light in the bottom left. Light has mostly liked Wraith on this map. We'll see if that's going to continue to be the case. And yeah, I've really been enjoying the Roaring Currents game. Anytime I see that some pros have played on it, I'm like, yes, let's go. It's just such a fun map. Let me know if you would agree with that as well. Do you get excited when you see it's an island map? Let's see what kind of crazy strats we can have here. You know, very recently, I casted the Flash versus Larva game where Flash tried to go like a Sky Terran type of opener with 3 starport. That was crazy. Didn't end up working, but yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe you have to keep more pressure on. It's like, that's part of the tricky thing. It's like you want to power a certain amount, but like if you power too much, powering being like, getting all of your production up and like kind of like trying to hit certain break points in your army, right? Like he in that game, Flash, for instance, he went command center first, no move outs, and his first move out was 4 Valkyries and 8 Wraiths, and it's like, okay, well, Zerg has had a lot of time to do what they want, and Zerg is really the race that you need to control how many workers they're able to make, because you can control them and you can't really control the other races very well. Like Protoss and Terran can kind of just make workers nonstop. Zerg can't. You can force them to make units, and the thing is, Zerg units are so cheap and so supply efficient. They don't actually need that many workers to play a good game. It's just the case. So, anyways, it's like you see here that Light, instead of like a command center first build, he's going to go factory right away. And we don't know if this is going to be a 1-base build or possibly like factory. It could be factory command center. It could be factory starport command center. That one's not very popular, but factory command center is. Yeah, he takes everything off gas. So it'll probably be factory command center. Put all your guys back on gas. Go port is my guess. But it could just be a straight mech build as well. Yeah, this is going to allow a bit more pressure to be had, which is important. Finally, an SCV going out to scout. Everyone's playing this map super, super greedy. Nice quick layer here from Shine. And yeah, it's going to be a minute here before we really see what's happening. Puts a little bit back on gas. 1 back on gas. Okay. There's that command center. 2 more back on gas. We'll see if he goes Vulture first or Atom first. I'd imagine you're going to make a Vulture. Yep. The Vulture is going to allow him to do things on the map. But yeah, Shine is going to need to make sure he does make a Sunken at some point here. Pretty soon. Oh, he just canceled the Vulture. Oh, it was like he built the Vulture in case stuff was coming, and then it wasn't, and then he canceled it. Okay. So, looks like it will be 2 starport. Go ahead, Light. You can do it. Come on, Light. You can do it, man. I believe in you. Oh. Okay. The way he was moving and, like, going down here, I was like, yeah, that looks like a second starport, but it's actually an armory. Well, if you're going to open 1 starport armory, it's obviously a bio build. You can't really go 1 starport Valkyrie with mech at the same time. That's not really a thing. Because that would be like the type of build where you can't put pressure on for a million years, right? It would take so long to get an army that could attack across the map. Yeah, it would be terrible. So he is going to be going Marine Medic with this. So we'll see how that plays out. 3rd base going up for Shine. Spire on the way. eBay coming up. So going to get those +1 upgrades going. Huh. I mean, maybe he just tries to play a pretty normal game, like a Valkyrie timing to get out here and maybe make sure he doesn't have like 4 bases. Like, this is so wide open. It's actually really hard to open up on this map, take this base, and then like use lurkers. Like, maybe you could get your lurkers here. Just something to keep in mind. +1 flyer carapace starts up for Shine very, very quickly, as well as his Mutalisks. Some missile turrets coming up for Light. And we should be seeing some barracks added relatively soon, I would say. All right, lands that, so his comsat will fit. Missile turrets coming up. It's kind of interesting because there are some Valkyrie builds where you can get some barracks more quickly, but this is a quicker Valkyrie as opposed to like a more balanced build in some ways. Like some of the Valkyrie builds we've seen lately aren't this variant. It's more like a Rax expand into the gas. This is the gas first, so you just are going to have multiple Valkyries before the mutas even get there. So, yeah, a couple Rax is made. Oh, that's kind of an interesting micro position. Or not a micro position, like a hidden position there. Yeah, so the mutas fly in and get hit by 2 Valkyries. So that's the first time he's seen it. So now Shine knows what's going on. And we'll see from here if Shine wants to like try to go quick lurker or something like that. Yeah, there's the Hydralis Den. Makes sense. Mutas flying in for another swipe. Maybe kill a few SCVs off. 3 Valkyries come up. Oh, jeez. Lots of damage on those mutas. Very quickly into 5 Rax play here. Academy coming up. Light even clearing some of these overlords. So far, you look at these openers, like it definitely feels better for Light. Now, here Shine comes. He's got some Scourge in here, so he's going to try to assassinate some of these. Ooh. Light actually has, like, other than Flash, the best Valkyrie micro. I was scared when he turned around there, but he did end up eating a Scourge on that very hurt Valkyrie already. All right, +1 flyer carapace still on the way. Zergling Speed, Evolution Chamber, additional Macro Hatch, Queen's Nest. Just getting ready to get to Hive. Science Facility. Look at this weird... Look how weird this looks. First off, the tank should pop here and get stuck. It's going to have to walk around like this. This is the only place it can fit out. Oh, no? Really? So that becomes a popping out square that he can go to? Okay, but there is a problem there, by the way. While we watch this, I just have to point this out. If a Marine pops at exactly the wrong time and is standing here, the tank will pop out over here and be stuck. I just want you guys to know that. I do want you to know that. So there is the possibility of very bad luck for Light for getting a tank stuck. Okay, the Muta's flying in now. The Valkyrie's going to come down and try to push them back. You notice he's being really careful and not shooting if he doesn't feel confident in it. +1 flyer carapace definitely helping out a little bit. The Bioforce going to move forward. Already 3 lurkers here. No lurkers on the high ground, but going to maybe hold position them there. Not a bad choice. This is a bait. It's like, oh, you're not burrowed. Maybe I can stim up this ramp and get a good position. Ha ha. Nope. Light is not going to fall for that. Okay, 2 tanks are out already. +1 armor coming up. Now, will he stay on SK Terran? Will we see a second engineering bay? Will we see a second starport? Or is he going to go for a mech switch? We're going to find out about that pretty soon here. Because 1-1 is the highest upgrades you get if you're doing a mech switch. All right, Vessel +2 Valkyries here. Going to be some good anti-air. Pushes those mutas back really quickly. Radiate just started. Yeah, this is going to take a while to break through. And in fact, even burrows them forward, runs them forward and burrows to force those tanks back. Very, very annoying to deal with. Missing half your shots here. Tanks don't shoot too quickly. All right, going to siege up. Yeah, I kind of like how aggressive he's being here, spreading those Marines out and going after the Sunkens as well. But look at this counterattack from Shine. Oh my god. Gets right on top of the siege tanks with those 2 lurkers. The defense matrix, so clutch right there. But at the same time, Lings and lurkers from the other side will clear the rest of his army. Great hold from Shine. Great, great hold. Okay, where do we go from here? Mines on the way. So this is going to be a mech switch. Almost certainly. It does. There's a small chance there won't be, but you would need a second starport right now for it not to be. So yeah, I'd say it's going to be. Shine coming in with a pretty large attack. That is a gigantic line of lurkers. Marine's going to hold it off for this second. All right, just going to burrow here. This is going to completely stop Marine movement onto the other side of the map. +1 vehicle weapons coming up. Light getting ready for that switch. Kind of a tough position for him here. Hive is already out. Defiler pushes could be incoming pretty quickly, and he only has 1 factory. He only has 1 starport as well. So, like, between just units that can kill Defilers and Lurkers, very, very low. He's got to rely quite heavily on his Marine Medic Micro. And once Defilers are out, that barely does anything. All right, want to radiate there. Has this high ground. You don't really want to push up through here. Mines on the other side. Not a bad idea. Might get lucky with those. It's a possibility. You don't really expect him to have mines right now. Hasn't really shown the vultures. Shine, starting to get some Overlord upgrades. Overlord speed first. Okay, looks like Light is going to try to break through here. He uses the vultures to tank a little bit. His spread is really good on the left side. The bottom part was a little bit harder, but this was actually a really important moment. Even though he's lost like a lot of bio here, he pushed this back right before the Defilers came up. If the Defilers had come up and Darkstorm this position, the game is basically over. Going over the bridge is going to take a lot longer, which is going to give Light some time to actually get into his more powerful units. So good movement there from Light. Really important moment. Factories being added. Shine right now with a very healthy drone count. Getting Plague. Getting upgrades for his Hydralisks. It looks like he thinks he might be playing against Bio. Like, that's basically all he's seen, but these upgrades he's getting are a little bit more popular if you're playing against Bio as opposed to Mech, but Shine might still use it against Mech as well. I don't think it's not usable. I did talk a little bit about how Ling Ultra has become a little bit more popular against the Mech switches and everything, but I don't think that's like a really perfect way either. All right, Stims forward. He's trying to stop any push from coming. He knows that Shine's going to try it. All right, the mines clear up a few of these Lings at least. And just barely doesn't have the energy for anything else with this Defiler. Another one is coming up. A lot of factories have been added, by the way. The drop upgrade for Overlords is almost done here. So not only will that open up potential avenues of attack, but the island expansions are going to be things that we're going to see Shine try to take. Defiler energy on the way. Plague is done. Plague on those vessels will be key. A lot of factories coming up for Light. A lot of factories. Not many add-ons. Looks like we're going to be very Vulture heavy for a little bit. All right, just irradiating what he can get. Tons of lurkers. My God, he's making a lot of lurkers. A lot of hatcheries out here, too, for macro. Speed Overlords going to scout the map. I don't see any drones in any of these yet. +2 flyer carapace as well. I actually really like to see that. It's a real nod towards this game potentially going long. By the way, Shine's vision is god tier. I'm going to turn off Light's vision for a second. Look at the mini-map. Look at his spread of Overlords. Insane. Light actually is doing a good job, too, floating a bunch of buildings out there. Would not mind seeing, like, a Mutalisk going out there. Start putting some damage on. So Hydra Lurker Defiler are going to start trying to push over this bridge a bit. Light is trying to slow it down between irradiating key units, some spider mines, and then stimming forward. Siege tanks are finally being produced, so I think he's going to have these just in time to hold his part of the map. Like, the mines and the bio and everything held everything off just long enough. Yeah, and of course the Hydras can't hit mines underneath the Darkstorm either, by the way. In case anyone was wondering why Lurkers work under Darkstorm, because they are a ranged unit, it's because their entire attack is splash damage. It's the same as Firebats. Like, the entire animation that you see of the spiked line, every piece of it is a splash damage. So it's not like an attack that can be displaced and missed. They don't miss going to high ground either. I guess technically Firebats wouldn't miss shooting on high ground. That's funny. I don't think I've ever seen that occur. Firebats being on low ground and shooting high ground and missing doesn't even really compute because their range isn't very long. But they're not a melee unit. Okay, so little lurker drop trying to come down. Light's going to catch that really quickly. Very nice. Wow. Big clear. Okay, I want to jump around the map a little bit and see where we're at. So 3 add-ons, 2 armories, really good production. He's getting a good amount of Goliaths mixed in too. We got buildings floating around everywhere. Shine has taken this base and this base. Not that one yet. Light. No, we don't see an additional command center being made for any island bases at the moment. Now, something I've been talking about a little bit when we cast Roaring Currents on this map is how I think Terran probably needs a row of siege tanks here to just hold the bridge and then to work on some anti-air overall. Okay, this was irradiated, so he's actually fine. Ooh, he actually targeted down. Shine's very good at things like that, but targets down SCVs and gets a lot of extra kills there. Okay, so he cleared that pretty quickly. Command center, oh, one did float up to here, but with the Nidus coming up, I don't think you're going to be able to hold this. All right, dropship with Goliaths heading towards top left. If he can get the Nidus, then he can maybe kill the base. You could bring over more Overlords with drops in them, though. But this is actually a really important moment. Can he deny top left? Top left is a solid expansion for whoever gets it. Okay, so he kills the Nidus, and he will just barely kill these units. But there should be, yeah, 2 more Hydras on the way. 2-1 upgrades working out well for Light here. Going to bring some Vultures up to help as well. As you can see, some more drops going to be coming. Mass Queens being made. Here is the problem with mech here. Just like I said, you can put mass tanks here to hold the bridge. 1 Defiler, 1 Lurker holds the bridge for Zerg. So that is an issue, and that's going to allow him to build up time for the Queens. So we actually need an answer for the Queens. Now, potential answers for the Queens are Valkyries or Wraiths to try to either kill them off / zone them out. Mass Goliath to try to zone them out from the juicy hits on siege tanks. And possibly EMP. That's about it. There's no definitive answer as of yet for how to deal with mass queens with mech. So the fact that this is so choked up and Light has no potential attacks, notice he's adding 2 starports, and this could be multiple things. Drops are reasonable. Battle cruisers are reasonable. Valkyries, I think, as I said, are reasonable. Like, you need something to get the queens to not just farm you for the rest of the game. Queen energy on the way. Overlord vision on the way. Love to see it. Looks like Shine is going to be able to hold this top left, by the way. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just lose the bio. It's like so worthless at this point. Shine has this base up and running. Light should be thinking about maybe, I don't know, floating a command center over there, perhaps. He definitely needs to make more dropships, and he is making them out of this one starport. He has these 2 others. I hope to see him get some add-ons pretty quickly here. Okay, sacrifice a few units to get a decent plague off on some of these tanks. This is kind of a crazy game. Oh yeah, and don't forget, you have this high ground area. We used to call this the turbo newbie, dropping tanks on someone's ledge over an expansion. Very few expansions have this ledge anymore. And it's not just siege tanks, like Dragoons standing up here, Lurkers dropped up here. Just siege tanks were the first thing back in the day that were dropped on places like that. Okay, the dropships actually clicked away in a poor angle and fly through the Hydras a little bit. And here come the first queens for their broodlings. And he spreads them out to hopefully get some siege tank splash damage. Looks like there was a mistake made over here, and the Defiler did not continually irradiate the single Lurker that needed to be there. Big Hydra drop over here to try to clear this. Damn, man. +3 siege tanks, not so bad, huh? My God. All right, the queens fly over here for some reason. A lot of queens still waiting. He's starting to push up here. Like, this is a lot of production, so this is important. This is already mined out, so that base doesn't really matter all that much. Gonna kill off some of the Niduses. Shine really made a mistake not keeping the infinite Dark Swarm here. You need, literally against this type of thing, like infinite Dark Storm in one area, it has to be your #1 priority, is to prevent, Terran from moving forward. So Light now is actually making some big progress. Shine, though, taking another base here. It looks like he was trying to, and Light knocked that off. But Shine is, like, taking all the islands right now. This is a fascinating game, the way this is turning out. And look at this, Wraiths. Ooh, chills. So he's getting Wraith attack right now. He's got Cloak already. Like I said, the things that you can do to stop queens are potentially EMP, potentially Mass Goliath for zoning, potentially Wraiths or Valkyries for picking them off. And it looks like he is going to be going for the Wraiths to try to pick them off. Of course, don't forget they do have Ensnare. Or they probably have Ensnare. We haven't seen it cast yet, but I would imagine that he got it. It's so cheap. And, of course, Plague is very, very good against Wraiths. And there's the Plague. He kills a fair amount of the queens. Like, if you're trading a Wraith for a queen, it's a good trade. Because the queen is going to kill a tank and then most likely live through it and then kill another one later. It's already what we've seen some of. Ring of floating buildings around this base. All right, Light just cleaning up this area. Shine doesn't really care about that so much. Light right now, 175 supply against 113, so it looks good in that regard. Empty. Almost empty. 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 Light is barely mining, so even though he has way better supply, this is still a game that Shine absolutely can win. Absolutely. All right, dropping a lot of drones off here. It looks like he's going to try to make some spores in this area. The Wraiths are actually doing some serious work. Makes a spore and a sunk. So looking ahead to potential drops coming in and needing some defense against that as well. Mass mutas being fielded now. Chase down those Wraiths, perhaps. Well, they do kill a few of them at least. Light's income is like so low. He can't really replace stuff too much. But that's okay because he is basically max. So he still has like potential in this game as he secures this base. But he needs, I would say, to kill either this or this. This looks pretty hard to kill. Night is coming up. A lot of Hydras already in there. This one is hard to hold because it's got almost no buildable terrain on it for defense. They really designed this island very well. As far as island maps go, in fact, this whole map is one of the more interesting ones. Doesn't actually have that much anti-air here. But his upgrades are fantastic at 3-2. 7 queens suddenly in the production tab here for Shine. Wraiths fly up to join these tanks and Goliaths. And see, he's doing the infinite Darkstorm now, where it's like, it doesn't... Honestly, it's better to not have detection here, because they'll just keep wasting shots. Here, you see that? Okay, that's so funny, because he just walked over one of them with the Defiler, so the missed shots on the Defiler blew up the Lurker underneath. But yeah, it's better to not have vision, so they'll shoot anything else that comes up. That's actually a funny thing about playing against the Infinite Darkstorm, is to not have vision. You want them to shoot. Instead of just... You can time out walking into it if they're shooting a Lurker nonstop. Okay, so massive, massive drop here, and he will be able to take the space over, floating over the command center from this location. Oh, Infinite Darkstorm, where is it? Big drop comes down at the bottom. And he is going to be able to clear this, it looks like. SCVs will not be able to hold on against this. That is for sure. Where's his dropships? Okay. Brings in some Goliaths and Siege Tanks, so that will be enough to clear this out now. Definitely some good damage, though. This is crazy. I love watching these little islands being battled over. So if Light maintains this and maintains this... Well, I want to say I think he'll win, but because there's still queens, like a lot more queens were made, like these will grind infinite value over the course of the game. Like if the game just keeps going and going and going, you'll just keep getting kills. Even if you end up killing Goliaths and stuff, it's like, okay, you know, between Infinite Darkstorm and like Infinite, you know, well, that's the thing. Spellcasters just gain you value over time. And the spellcasters in this matchup against Mech are much better than like Irradiate and EMP haven't shown themselves to be able to beat just constant queen usage. Not yet. I think that there's potential for it to occur. I think that might be something we see evolve in coming years. What a wild game. Oh my god. All right, Light is retreating from this position. So his push for the most of the game has been into this area, but both of them were actually mined out. Just to throw that in there. Okay, picks off some of these, but a lot of Broodlings do go down, and the Hydras will end up clearing this army of Lights. But the supply of Shine plummets from this. Down to about 100. That is a lot of Hydras still being made. So here, it looks to me like he's relying on Broodling and then Hydras as the base of his army, where it's like, yeah, if I kill enough tanks, the Hydras work. But the Queens have to kill the tanks because, like, the Hydras just absolutely do not scale if you have a decent amount of Siege Tanks. Let's say you have, like, 12 Siege Tanks with +3 attack and then just other mech units. You will kill, like, hundreds of Hydralisks. It will just be bad. Dropships picking up quite a bit. Looks like mostly attacking units. A few SCVs mixed in there. Oh my god. Comes in and mass broodlings this island. Not enough, though. The anti-air really paying off. Goliath range being a savior here. Really punishing some of those broodlings coming in. Okay. So Shine still, yeah, still has some gas and minerals here. Yeah, plenty of gas. Good minerals still. Ah, he's going to try to take this down. Oh! Okay, kills some of the dropships, but that is a hell of a lot of Goliaths getting out. Definitely needs to pump out all of his Hydras. The Hydras will be able to clear this. This is actually a big chunk of what Light has. That is a big chunk. This reminds me of like so many casual games I had as a new player. I loved playing on BGH Islands. Just went into map editor and deleted the land bridges that went over and kept hosting that. Oh my god, it was so much fun. But yeah, setting up these little defended positions, so much fun. I'm really getting nostalgia watching this game. And trying to break these other positions. Like, Light just tried to break here with, like, 5 dropships, got slammed. Over here, like, Shine tried to break this with Queens and, like, 3 Overlords, got slammed. It's like, well, damn, how much do you need? Now, he's actually has some mutas out here. These might be for tanking. You fly in the mutas first. Perfect timing. See this? They're going to tank that damage. Then he's going to drop out here. And there are Queens as backup. Okay, this base will be cleared. And now, I don't know that Light can retake. Now, it seems to me actually that, like, Yamato and Irradiate in this area over here, like, for clearing these bases might be really useful. Obviously, he can't go that right now. But bringing dropships in over Hydralisks doesn't seem realistic to me. It doesn't seem realistic at all. I feel like you need to grind this down at range, and there's no way to do that other than Yamato and Irradiate, which are basically the two things Light doesn't have. This base, a little bit more droppable, not as many Hydras there, but it is getting lower as well. Light is bringing his SCVs for an attack now. So he's going to utilize all of his SCVs in this attack with his remaining Goliaths and tanks that he has right there. He actually has quite a few more coming. He has a fair amount. Like, this is his last mining base, though. So, oh god, the Queen's coming in. Well, that clears that. GG from Light. So Shine does end up winning it. Crazy, crazy game. You know, the more games I watch on this map, it does feel like it's going towards Zerg balance for this matchup. Let me know what you think about that, if you would agree. Because I originally started out, I was like, I think Terran will beat Zerg here. It makes sense, right? Like, these geysers are low. You know. But the more I watch, more I'm like, huh. Holding this bridge with a single lurker. You know, as you get Niduses up at these bases, it gets really hard. The Queens against Mech, obviously. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. See you next time.